If you ever walk through the bustling streets of Enugu, you hear many stories, tales of love, laughter, and loss. But there's one story everyone remembers. A story that began with a woman whose name alone could silence a crowd. Her name was Chika. To the market women, she was a warning. To the children, she was a legend. And to her neighbors, she was the stingiest woman in Enugu. They said she could count the grains of rice before cooking them, that she watered her stew until it turned into soup, and that even mosquitoes avoided her house, for fear they'd leave hungry. People laughed behind her back, yet deep down, everyone wondered, how could one woman live with such a locked heart? Chika hadn't always been this way. Once, she was a cheerful seamstress whose laughter filled the air. But after her husband died suddenly, the light in her eyes faded. Poverty moved in like an unwanted guest, and fear became her closest friend. Fear of hunger. Fear of shame. Fear of people. So she built walls, not of brick or clay, but of coldness and pride. When neighbors came to borrow salt or a matchstick, she snapped. Did I bring you to this world to feed you? Go and buy your own. No one dared to knock twice. Children whispered and ran whenever she passed. They called her Madam Kpam-Kpam, the woman who never gave, never smiled, never shared. Next door lived Mama Ngozi, a widow struggling to raise her 2 grandchildren. Though she had little, she shared everything she had. One night, when her cooking gas finished and the children cried from hunger, she went to Chika's door. My daughter, she pleaded softly, please help me with small kerosene. I will buy and return it tomorrow. Chika folded her arms. Mama, do I look like an NPC? Go and find your own. I cannot waste mine. She slammed the door. Mama Ngozi stood there quietly, sighed, and whispered, may God soften your heart one day, Chika. Her words drifted into the night like smoke. Then came the day everything changed. It was a bright Sunday morning. Chika was frying her last akara balls when she heard screams outside. Mama Ngozi's grandson, little Somto, had fainted on the road. The boy had not eaten for 2 days. Neighbors rushed to help. Get him food. He needs sugar and water, someone cried. Chika froze by her window. Inside her cupboard sat a tin of milk she had been saving. Her heart beat fast. Her conscience whispered, will you let this child die when you can help? She grabbed the milk, ran outside, and shouted, take. Give it to him. The neighbors turned, shocked. It was the first time anyone had seen her give away anything. That moment cracked open the walls around her heart. Days later, she visited Mama Ngozi with a small bowl of rice. Then tomatoes. Then cooking oil. And soon, she began stopping by just to talk. Word spread quickly. Did you hear? Madam Kpam-Kpam gave me pepper yesterday. She even helped me carry my load. Chika began to laugh again. The children stopped mocking her and started greeting, good afternoon, Auntie Chika. For the first time in years, she felt peace. Months later came the market festival, the biggest celebration in Enugu. To everyone's surprise, Chika cooked a giant pot of jollof rice and placed it in the middle of the square. When people passed, she smiled and said, come and eat. Today, I am the one giving. The crowd gasped, then laughed and clapped. Even Mama Ngozi, with tears in her eyes, said, you see, my daughter. Giving does not reduce you, it multiplies you. That day, Chika's house overflowed with laughter, children, and joy. She was no longer the stingiest woman in Enugu. She became Mama Charity, the woman with an open hand. They say greed builds walls, but generosity opens doors. When your hand is closed, even blessings cannot enter. But when you open it, love, peace, and abundance flow in. And so, the people of Enugu still tell her story. Not as a tale of stinginess, but as a reminder that it's never too late for a heart to change. Because sometimes, The smallest act of kindness is the beginning of a brand new life.